tooth and nail. It's a rocky road, this pilgrim trail. Pilgrim trail, pilgrim trail. Sometimes heaven, sometimes hell. Pilgrim trail, pilgrim trail. Let's meet up down the pilgrim trail. For a sail, like every campfire needs a tale. We're on this freight train going down the rail, together on this pilgrim's trail. Pilgrim trail, pilgrim trail. Sometimes heaven, sometimes hell. Pilgrim trail, pilgrim trail. Where everything is up for sale. Pilgrim trail, pilgrim trail. Let's meet up down the pilgrim trail. No return, baby, on the summer night. A shot of love and a spark of love to breathe. The stars align and the month times night burn like a dried out leaf. Are we leaving on the next train, baby? I do believe. Come on, let's ride this train. Come on, let's ride this train. Now I ain't missed a 9 to 5, I don't hear it in my song. I'm gonna pull my weight, don't get me wrong. A brand new start and a whole new part, they are big old shoes to fill. I'll be there on that platform, babe, you know I will. Come on, let's ride this train. Come on, let's ride this train. Now nothing is this rush of life, you'll never find its match. So you live to be a million years. All hearts are lost by default in the time of a single beat. We're believing on the next train, babe, so take your seat.
Let's ride this train. Come on. Okay, good evening, everybody. Welcome to Tom's Trains and Things. I'm Tom Kovichak, and this is a good Monday night. I missed you last weekend, or last Monday. A little bit sick. Oops. And the wrong thing's popping up here. Okay. Let's see what this comes up like. Okay. So, there we go. So the thing's not working right tonight. We got to get this thing going on here first. Let me do a little bit of thing here. That should come up. Social comments. Okay, now. Let's see what happens here now. All right, it's working now. Sometimes when you start out, things just don't go right. So I had to make a little bit of adjustment there to get the right thing to pop up. So anyway, today we're going to be talking about Arduino. But before we get to that, I want to show you something I got in the mail this last week. And this right here. New kit from Bar Mill Scale Model Works, the Graves Foundry, and it's part of a bigger kit that was the, I guess, the Graves elevator, and this is just one of the buildings from that, but it's a pretty nice kit, pretty nice building here. Let's do it this way. That's the building right there, and see all this stuff right here. Remember us talking about the resin last week? Well, this thing's filled with resin castings, and as soon as you open up the box, ooh, you could smell it. My goodness. I mean, it's got two big ones. Man, you can smell that stuff. But anyway, that's one of the things that I'm going to be working on pretty soon. As soon as I finish my other two kits, then I could start on this one here. And this is the first one that I got that was in a wooden box. So that's pretty cool. All right. So, I want to say hello to everybody. Art, Dave, Randy. Who else we got here? Jim, Reggie. How you doing, Reggie? Another Randy. Nate. Barn full of trains. Who else got? Dave, CDP's 1965. Another day. Dwight, Kearney, Chasco. How you doing? Dave Hudson. Okay, I think I got everybody. Thanks you all for coming by. I want to thank everybody. Oh, I see. Rail. Rail.com. Hello, how you doing? That's the first time I've seen you here. So, welcome aboard. I see Joe G here. Thanks for stopping by, Joe. Okay. Who else we got here? Everybody saying hello. Yeah, nice looking kit. I'm going to enjoy putting this thing together. Let me get this out of the way right now. Put it back here. And first things first, I would like to thank everybody on Patreon. Chris O'Connell, Chuck Heidler, Dan McCammon, Debbie Cawley, Jack Barnett, John Dilly, John F. Wade, Marmee Hartzell, Mitchell Cutt, Mr. S.E. Hemstock, Nick Dukelis, Patrick Bezenet, Reggie Stroud, I see you're here today, Roy Hardwick, and Will Kling. So, thank you very much to all you patrons who have been participating in donations to Tom's Trains and Things. And I would also like to thank everybody that did a super chat. Let me see where we got this at. Is it this one right there? There you go, the super chat thing. Okay, in the last month, Possum Bayou, Sparky, John Dilly, Hot Rod Rodney, sorry, 25. Sparky again, Rick Bell, Possum Bayou. Again, thank you very much for your contributions. And I got a contribution through my PayPal me, Robert, I hope I don't mess up this name, Wojawadka. He sent me a nice donation for answering his questions in the email. So, thank you very much for all those contributions. I really appreciate it. Okay, boom. And if you're wondering, there's the PayPal me thingy right there. All right, so let's get going with this. We're going to talk about Arduino today. So what does everybody know about Arduino? And what do you like? What do you dislike about Arduino? I'm going to tell you what I like about it. So Dave Hudson, sorry Tom, I can't hear you. Is anybody else having trouble not hearing? Okay. I'll wait. Okay. I don't know. I can't hear you, Dave. Okay, anyway, but he says he can't hear, but I don't know. Let me see what this looks like right here. Everything looks like good. It's good on there. So, anyway, we are going to talk about Arduino today, and I have got a okay. I see. Let me get this out of the way here first. Oh, I felt stupid. Daughter hooked up the earphones. Oh, all good. Okay. All right. Good deal. We got that straightened out. But anyway, we're going to talk about Arduino today, and the reason I do Arduino is because you could do a lot of things with it. Okay, so I know nothing but will be converted to DCC++ very soon, so I'll be shutting up and paying attention now. Okay, good. I'm not going to go through any of the sketches or anything like that. I'm going to go through some of the components that you could get through there. Good, everybody could hear. Okay, so where did I put this thing at? Okay. Most of you are familiar with the Arduino Uno, which I have quite a few of them here. And I wanted to put a few things down here. Here is a Mega with a Pololu motor shield. Here is a Mega Shield, and I'm going to talk to you a little bit about some of the things that you could do with that. Here is a shield for an Uno. Here is some more shields for an Uno. Some of this stuff right here. There's an Uno with an OLED. There's a Deke Robot motor shield. Here is a... Now I got to get this number right here because they got so many different things with numbers on it, but I'm not going to try to find it because it's so small. But it's just like an ESP32, which I'll tell you about, is like one of these right here. And what does that do? That gives you the ability to use your Arduino with Wi-Fi. So if you wanted to control something through your cell phone or through your computer, you could do it with that. This right here. This is one right here. I have another one hooked up that I was working on. And let me get the magnifying glass out and I'll tell you what the number is on it, because these things got so many different numbers on them. ESP8266. Now the ESP8266 is the same thing as the ESP32, which have Wi-Fi, and this one right here, the ESP32, has Bluetooth also. So you could do a lot of things with that. So whatever you want to do with your Arduino, these things are not Arduinos right here. Let me get it out of the glare. These two things are not Arduino, but they operate on the Arduino IDE, along with a lot of other things that you could do electronics parts on. But this is the 8266 and the ESP32, which basically is the same thing. And whatever you do with Arduino, you could do with this, but you could actually tie into your internet, not your internet, but your Wi-Fi on your computer or on your cell phone, and communicate between, you can communicate between the two of us. Yeah, Arduino is just a handy microcontroller. Cheap, handy microcontroller. That is true. Okay, Reggie, okay. I have all the parts, just got to learn to use them. Good deal. Jim McCann said, I've been thinking about using the Arduino Mega for DCC base. That's what I got right here. I got a, let me get this out of the way. I got the Mega right here with a Polulu motor shield. Now this is the 3 amp motor shield, and this works pretty good. There's a lot of people that like more than 3 amps. This will go up to a maximum of 5 amps for a little bit, but they also make a 5 amp one that I think is about maybe 50 or 60 bucks. This one right here was like 29 bucks. But I told you about Dave Bodner before, and he built his own motor shield out of the components, and I'll put up his link in a little while where you could see his website, where he made a bigger motor shield or a higher amperage motor shield than the Polulu, so you can run DCC++ with that at a higher amperage than 5 amps. But anyway, here is a shield that goes on the Mega 2560. It also has a place where you could put in a micro SD card for sound. This is made by DF Robot, and it uses what is it? The B, whatever it is. I'm not quite sure what it was technically called, but there's some small plug-in modules that you could use on here for anything else. But all the outputs and inputs on there are brought out through these pins right here, so you could just plug them in on there. This is the same thing basically right here for an Uno. The only difference with this one is this one works just like the where did I have that one? The 8266 PC8. Okay, let me get back to this one here. PC. Okay. PCA 9685. I did this one with the servos right here. It's an I2C device right here. This also is an I2C device, but it works with your inputs where this works with your outputs. And there's another device right here by WaveShare that does the same thing that I got right before I went on vacation, but I haven't done anything with it yet. But it's an I2C component, and you could do the same thing for your inputs with this as you can with the BCA 9685 with the outputs. And that is basically the same thing right here. And I have a chip that does the same thing. So it's unlimited to what you can do with all this stuff here. Okay. Great way to add animation if that's your thing. You could do a lot of things. Animation, you could do lighting on there. Could be the program don't like me. I'm not the sharpest tool in the shed. Programming isn't that hard. Okay. What else do we have here? Dave Hudson. I have an Arduino kit. I haven't opened it up yet. That's what I did like 6 years ago when I first started it. In fact, this was my very first one right here. It's got an SMD chip on it. Let me put this down here. And when I first got it, I didn't use it. I let it sit there, and I read the book and looked at all the stuff and put it off to the side, and then read it some more, and then played around with one sketch or two, and then eventually I got around to playing around with it. And then I started looking into it into YouTube and found all kind of other stuff that I could do with it. Okay. Boom. I'm no electronics wizard, but it's all confusing to me. That's why I did the Arduino Made Easy. About 1.5 years ago, I did an Arduino Made Easy thing and introduction to it, and I'm going to play a little bit right here in a few minutes. But here's a few other things that I have on here. You stack your relays here. Here's a DF Robot motor shield right there. There is a Micro Pro Mini, just like this one, these three right here. You can get these real cheap, about $11 for about 3 of them. What do we got on this side here? You got an Arduino motor shield on here. So a lot of cool stuff. Here's a little audio amplifier right there. What I want to show you right here, I showed you this one before. This is a couple of projects that I'm working on. This one right here, you got an Arduino with a OLED, and you could use this as a small computer screen right there. I'm playing around with that. This one right here is another motor shield from Iowa Scaled Engineering. This is a DCC motor shield. You could hook this up to your Arduino and use that on your model railroad through DCC. This does not give you a DCC signal, but it acts like a decoder. So you could use this as a stationary decoder somewhere on your model railroad. All right, who do we else got coming in here today? That's all I've seen right here. M&M Rails. Okay, M&M. Mark, how you doing? All I know is Tom looks snazzy with his fresh haircut. Yeah, Debbie did it this morning. She did a great job on it. About once a month she gets out the clippers and does me, and then does Sadie's nails. So, motor shield. All right, so any questions here so far on any of the components? It's very, very inexpensive. Let me go and show you the first. Let me show you a portion of the first video that I ever did on Arduino Made Easy. If you're not a computer programmer or an electronics expert and you want to light and automate your model railroad, then Arduino is the solution for you. But sometimes it could be intimidating if you don't know what you're doing. So I'm going to make a simple solution even simpler. I'm Tom Kovichak, and this is Tom's Trains and Things. Welcome to the introduction of Arduino Made Easy. I'm going to show you how you can automate and light your model railroad with Arduino. There are a lot of videos on YouTube about Arduino and about Arduino with model railroading. Now, I'm going to try to make it as simple as possible for you if you don't know anything about computer programming and electronics. That's where I come in. Sometimes when people explain things, they assume that you already know what they're talking about or have a general idea. Well, I learned the hard way years ago that I had to teach myself computer programming. When I asked for help, it was just like everything went over my head because I was talking to people that knew what they were talking about but didn't realize that I didn't know what I was talking about, and they put it into terms that I couldn't understand. I'm going to be the beginner right here along with you and going through these projects with you. And like always, I'm going to put a link in the description of either the code that I'm using or where you could find the code that I'm using. Arduino has a lot of sample codes that I showed you in Shoutout Monday evening in this past week. Now I'll show it to you again here, and Adafruit has a lot of lessons in there, and you could also go on some other channels, Make, Adafruit, and SparkFun, where you could learn Arduino and even Raspberry Pi, which is a little bit different subject than Arduino, but we may touch into that a little bit later. Okay, that's about enough of that. I was going to drag it on to about 3 minutes, but I figured well, it was close enough, 2.5 minutes right there. But you get an idea of why I started it. Really, what I was doing was I was watching all the videos from everybody else that was doing Arduino, but I really couldn't learn anything from it because the way they were doing it, they always talked to you like you already knew what was going on. So I felt, there's got to be a better way to do this. And like you see in that video right there, I wasn't always that good with programming. I was self-taught. Going way back, I think I talked about that before with C and even BASIC, but it goes back a long way, and everything that I did with program, I was self-taught on it, and it was like you had to go, and this is back when you had to go on special interest groups through the back door on Outlook or whatever you were on. Maybe what was that old one? I can't remember what it was. CompuServe. You get on the back door of CompuServe and go to the special interest groups, and you could ask questions on there about people that knew what they were talking about. And a lot of times they would just, talk way over my head. But eventually, you would find somebody that would actually speak in terms where the beginner could understand everything. And even the books that I read, saying, Arduino made easy and stuff like that, didn't make it easy because still they talk over your head thinking that you know what you are talking about when you come to get a book and to understand, what it is about. Okay, eventually after I build the base station, I plan to build a block control system that will be communicating with the base station for automatic and secondary operations. Good idea. That is something that beyond what I plan on doing. I might do a little bit of it, but not very much of that. I'm going to be doing everything on the module as Arduino, but I might do a few signals in there and some crossing gates, but that's about it. I guess I'll have to go back and watch the video. I'm a visual learner. There you go. Hello, Jerry. How you doing? And Jim McCain, I see you dropped in. Dave's Trains, I see you dropped in too. All right, good deal. But anyway, that's what I wanted to say about the Arduino. Now, I have a few things in here about people that I've watched in Arduino, and let me do it the proper way. We go with another shout out Monday evening, and if you recall a couple of weeks ago, maybe 3 weeks ago, I talked about this Swedish guy, Andre Spies, and here he is right here. This guy does a lot of Arduino stuff, and he's pretty funny. Also, he makes fun of his accent, and he has a lot of good stuff to say. But that's one of the guys, and another one is DroneBot Workshop. Now, from these two YouTube channels, you can learn a lot about electronics, about Arduino, and these are two of the places that I've gone where I found things. I'm going to put these up in the chat so you can see it. Here goes one. All right. Now, I got to minimize that, make that smaller so I can put this down here and do that. And so there it goes in the chat. That one there, and Andre Spies. We'll get him up here. And these are just two of the guys that I watched. There's a couple of more in here. Let me see if I can pull them up and I'll tell you about them also. That's not the one that I wanted right there. Along with some model railroaders that are also YouTubers. Did that one go through there? No, that one didn't go through. Okay. Here's another one, Afro Tech. Now this guy hasn't done anything in about a year, but he has a lot of good stuff on there. And one more. The hurdy-hurdy-hur, yeah. And Brainy Bits. This last one here is Brainy Bits. And all four of these gentlemen have good... Here we go. That's the hurdy-hurdy-hur law. Yeah, I remember Sparky said he was gonna do the Swedish chef on his channel the next week. I told him I'd give him a super chat if he did it, but that was the one that he got all messed up, and the video and the audio was all messed up, so I didn't get to hear that Swedish chef accent. Yeah, that's the one I'm talking about right there. But check out all four of them. There are some more. I talked about Bruce Kingsley. He's the guy that made the actual locomotive cab to operate through his Digitrax system. I did a shout out on him about a year ago or even more. Dave Bodner, you know Dave Bodner. He does a lot of projects, and I said I'd give you the thing on his website. I got his YouTube channel here. Let me do his YouTube channel right here. This is Dave Bodner. Right there. And you can't forget Geoff Bunza. He got me started a long time ago. When I saw his first article about lighting up the Empty Arms Hotel is what really got me going. All right, P. Becca's, P. Becca's, is that right? Hi from Perth, Western Australia. Really enjoy your channel. Thank you. Really appreciate it. First time I've seen you here. Thanks for stopping by. Okay, good deal. So, Arduino. All of those links are good links to channels. Some of them are model railroading. Some of them are not model railroading, just plain Arduino and plain electronic stuff. But it's all good information. You get all good ideas out of everything on there. Let me pull up... how could we do this without pulling up the Arduino website? And from there, you can get anything. You can learn Arduino, you could buy Arduinos on there, and they have resources on there where if you have any issues with some of the code, you could bring it up and find out what everything means on it. And it has code samples in there so you can play around with it, and a lot of other things. You have one leading to another. and you could just go and look through everything on here. You could learn a lot of stuff just by, clicking on some of this stuff just to find out what it is in the code. That's basically how I found out how to do things, is just to play around with it. The biggest thing is just experiment it with it, is what I could say. I guess the easiest way to learn is by the mistakes that you make whenever you're doing stuff. And basically that's how I did it. I just made a lot of mistakes and figured out, how to do it right. All right, Schuylkill River Valley, how you doing? Glad to see you here. All right. Boo, 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 boo. Hey, okay, so there's all those people right there. I was hoping that somebody might have some questions here on that. If you don't have any questions, ask them now. I'll get to them, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about something right now about YouTube, because they just came out today. Let me see. Where do I have it? I'll bring it up right here. All right. If you are on YouTube Studio Beta, or even if you're not on YouTube Studio Beta, earlier today, YouTube came out with this announcement. Earlier this year, we set YouTube Studio as the default starting point for all creators, with an option to go back to the classic version for the left-hand navigation menu. In a few weeks, in November of 2019, we plan to remove the Creator Studio Classic link from the left-hand menu for a limited group of creators. Only 1% of them, but are you that 1%? Who have already made the switch to YouTube Studio. If you're part of this group, you will receive a notification in YouTube Studio later this week. This is the first step in sunsetting the classic version, but we won't remove access to Creator Studio Classic for the rest of the creator community until early next year. At that time, the changes will happen slowly, and we'll notify each creator 2 weeks in advance of when the changes happen for their channels. Check out some helpful tips and blah 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 blah, and it goes on. I'll put the link for this in the chat so you could read it for yourself and check out some of the links that are in there if you have any questions about it. But what that means is all that good stuff on Creator Studio Beta is going to be there permanently, and eventually you'll have no way of going back to the classic. They'll still be pushing you back on certain parts of the classic because Studio Beta isn't finished yet. So why they're pushing it right now, just like they pushed YouTube New, and they still don't have it perfected. And I still use the classic YouTube. But if I go on a new computer, YouTube New comes up where you have the dark mode and everything like that. But if you could see right here, let me pull this up right here, I still have the classic up. So there's still a way on that to go back, but pretty soon on your Studio Beta, there is not going to be a way to go back. Okay, so we know that P. Becca, okay, is named Paul. All right, so that's why the P in there. All right, good deal. Good to meet you. Yeah, read it and weep. Yeah, so pretty soon. Now, you've heard me badmouth Studio Beta before, and the more I use it, the more that I see that there is some really good stuff in there. You just have to find it, and it's not easy to find because it's structured completely different as the classic. But a lot of the things are in there, and there's even more stuff in there, more information in there. Although you know still for if you have to do end cards or the end screens, or you want to do the live, you still have, it still sends you back to classic. So you won't have to worry about that. Even if they get rid of the little return to classic little icon at the bottom, you'll still be able to go back because it still sends you there. But it's a pain in the butt. And if you've tried to do that upload a video beta thing, don't do it, because it is a pain in the butt. I tried to do it and there were so many things wrong with it. I tried to, well, maybe they corrected it since about 3 weeks ago, but I tried it when they first came out with it, and it was a mess. And I wrote about 3 paragraphs on it, you know, complaining about everything on there that I found when I was trying to upload a video. So that was the last time I tried to upload a video from their upload video beta, which really is crappy. In planning on building a G-scale train track in my backyard, what should I consider on deciding between electric track versus battery operated engine? Whatever you can afford and whatever is easiest for you. A lot of people doing the G-scale on the outside stuff, they do radio controlled, which, you know, stands to reason. You know, that's pretty good thing, because you don't have to worry about running wires, you know, feeder wires and bus wires all the way through your system, you know, just to get power. So probably the best thing to do is you do the battery operated engines. A lot of people do that. In fact, oh yeah, and I forgot to say, and I'll get to that later. But as far as the battery operated, that is probably the best way to go with that on the larger scale if you're doing it outside. I try studio, but it's very hard to navigate. Yeah, the first time, you know, I was a beta tester, and, you know, I got really fed up with it, and went back to it every once in a while, but really didn't like it because I was there at the early part where stuff never worked, nothing worked. But after going back and seeing some of the stuff, improvements that they made, it's a little bit better than what it was before, and they have a lot of good stuff on there. You just have to find it. And a lot of the things I complained about, like, you know, you could fill it out, you know why you going back to classic, you know, because you can't find something. And later on I was able to find it because they didn't respond, but I looked a little bit deeper and I found what I was looking for. It's just things are in different places, and you just have to spend the time and go in there and look for the stuff. I was just trying to find stuff on monetization for, you know, the live stream, and you got to go through hoops and circles just to get there, but it's there, and a lot of other things are there. And what they did was they separated the live streams from the recorded videos. So you have a page for live, you have a page for recorded, and you also have a page for stories, which I haven't been able to figure out yet. There you go. Here is probably the best thing about no track cleaning and G-scale battery. There you go. That's the best part of it. All right, so I have a small BN N scale layout, so I really enjoy watching whatever I can to help with my modeling. That's a good deal. YouTube is filled with a lot of good stuff. I'm on 1/60th N scale, so I have no idea, but hello. Editing is too much work, so I don't post. I need to pay someone to do that for me. Okay. So, there are times when I don't like to edit either. Too bad we can't do a U-Train studio. There we go. Hey, that's a good idea. So, let's go. Here we go. Speaking of analytics, can we see what time of day people watch our videos? No. Not unless you have, what is it? Morning Fame? I think it morningfa.me. It's an add-on, a Chrome add-on. It's something like TubeBuddy or vidIQ. It's just another thing, but they give you the optimum time of when your videos are being watched. You can't tell exactly, you know, every video what time they are watched, but it gives you the peak time and everything. It came out about a year ago. I had it when it was still free, but I didn't find enough information on there. I didn't find enough information on there about to pay for it, so I just dropped it whenever they wanted to do the paid part of it. But I hope that answers your question there, Mark. Okay, Randy says, I would be happy to profit share with anyone wanting to help out edit my videos. I do a lot of editing, and I've been doing it for 17 years, but just doing my own is enough. But anyway, Mark, Morning Fame. Let me see if I can bring up the thing here. It's fa.me. So here we go. Right there. Morning Fame, simply YouTube growth. And let's put the link up there so you can all see it. I think that's the only way that you could find out when people watch your videos, and they have a pretty good thing on it. TubeBuddy may have had something like that in the beginning, but I think they dropped it. But I know Morning Fame does have that. And see for yourself, they have a demo, so it looks like they have a I don't know how long it is, maybe a 30-day or a 2-week free demo. Let me see what it says. Pricing. It's $4.90 per month. If you pay by the year, it's $3.90. So $4, so $48 up front. You got it for a whole year. They have a $12.90 plan, also the Plus plan. Keyword research and channel analytics. But anyway, Morning Fame. Yeah, last time you were live, Debbie wasn't feeling well. Hoping she's better and keeping you in time check. Yeah, she got sick. And remember when that Monday I said I think that I'm catching it too? Well, Wednesday it hit me hard. And so I was sick for over a week. I didn't even go on a computer and answer my comments or anything like that for about a week. So I was sick and she was sick, and we're still playing around with a few things about it because we still got chest congestion a little bit, but we'll get over it. And hey, there's one thing that I didn't do today. And showed you the module cam. That's what's happening downstairs. Nothing much happening down there right now because I'm up here. But there's the module. Okay. So, okay, Brian, try Wondershare. It's an easy-to-use drag-and-drop editing program. $30 a year or $60 lifetime license to remove watermarks and get the upgrades. Yeah, there's a lot of good editing software up there. It just depends on how much you like to edit and how much you want to get involved in it. There's a free one, Hit Film. They have a paid version of it, but you can get a free one that is pretty good. Let me see if I can bring that one up here. Right here. I mean, it is an excellent editor, and they have a free version of it. Let's see. Boom. Oops, there's mine. Okay. But I use it sometimes. It's got a lot of good stuff on there. And there's another one too. I can't remember what it is right offhand. It's something like Hit Film, but it is DaVinci Pro. It's a cut down version of DaVinci, which is pretty robust, and it's got a high learning curve. But anyway, it's got a high learning curve, and I haven't been able to figure it out. Okay. I'm currently waiting on my new RAM to come in. I'm upgrading to 16, and I should be able to use a good editor then. Use iMovie Mobile now. Okay, good deal. Yeah, you really need a good PC to do some editing. As far as you got to have a good graphics card with a lot of memory on it, and a lot of memory in your computer, and the latest what is it right now? i9 Intel processor. To do some really fast editing. Otherwise, you're just going to be bogged down with stuff. All right. Dave's Train says, Lightworks is free and easy to use. There's a lot of good, easy ones out there. But you get what you pay for. As far as the free ones, if they have some updates on it, let me see. They have some free updates on it, or some updates on it, but yeah. Hit Film has a steep learning curve, in my humble opinion. Okay. Well, I've been doing Vegas since 2003, 2002, somewhere around there. Even before it was called Vegas, it was called Sonic Foundry or something like that. It was actually an audio editor. But a lot of the NLEs are the same. It's just that you have to get used to their graphical user interface. Okay, here we go. Sean. I've watched lots of videos, but just can't figure out Pico turnouts for DCC. You mean that? You're talking about the Electro Frogs or the what's the other? Insel Frogs. They're a piece of cake. All the instructions are on the back of them. And they used to put a little pamphlet inside there too, but I don't think they do anymore, but everything's right on the back. And it's not too hard. It's just like any other turnout. With the Electro Frog, they have a wire on the back, so what you have to do is whatever direction your points are in, you have to set up a relay or something, a frog juicer or whatever you want to use on it to get your power distributed up to the frog up here. But it's just like any other electro. Different manufacturers have different names for it, but Pico uses Electro Frog. Walters, I'm not sure what term they use, but they're all the same. You have to power the frog through the points. They are powered barely through a wiper right there where the joint is, but I wouldn't rely on that. They have a wire underneath that you have to route your power with. Let me see if I can pull this thing out here. Come on. Let me see. So we got a wire right here. Can you see that right there? Okay, that wire right there is for your frog. That's for all this right here. So whatever direction your points are in, you need to route the power from this side when it's here to there, so you have power on your frog. And you do that by a frog juicer or whatever else you could find. You could do it through relays or anything else that you want. It's not that hard. So I hope that answers your question. It's not too difficult. You just have to just read the stuff on the back and read it over again, and you'll get the hang of it. You'll get the hang of it. It's pretty easy. All right, I just got 4 of those in because I'm replacing those. I have some Atlas ones that have the insulated plastic frogs on there, and they are no good for DCC unless you have the what do they call it? The capacitor in there, that juicer. Okay, just can't use my electro, so I guess. All right. Yeah, Debbie says, hit that like button. Go ahead, hit that like button. Dave, I wish I could hit it more than once. Me too. But you could hit it, you could share it, you could like it, you could do everything. You know, used to, whenever you hit the like button, they had a little thing on there where you could had your choice of, you could share it to Facebook and other stuff like that. They did away with that a long time ago. I don't understand why. That used to, when you uploaded to, you could do it directly to Google. Well, Google Plus is gone, but used to be able to do it directly to Twitter too, I think it was. And they cut that out too. They're cutting out a lot of stuff. Okay, thank you for taking the time. Appreciate it. You're welcome. Okay. So, here we go. If you haven't done so already, go ahead and read that right there. Hit the Super Chat, hit the Patreon, PayPal, Amazon. Remember, I got this thing right here. And you can get a little bit of that if you give me a Super Chat. And out of all the Super Chats from last month, let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Possum Bayou did it twice. Sparky did it twice. Okay. And then we had some from the month before. So every little bit helps out. And it'll help me buy some more of those things over there. Rick Bailey said, I just got 10 Atlas number 4 turnouts. Is that not good for DCC? I think the newer ones, they have better frogs in it, but the ones that I had were really, really old Atlas ones. And I mean, the entire frog was plastic. So, you know, if you had a short engine like a yard switcher or something like that only had 2 trucks on it, it wouldn't go through there. Okay. There you go. Nate's helping him out. Okay. Pretty much, if you need more of an explanation, feel free to contact me. Yeah, you could still share the stuff to Facebook and the stuff, but you used to be able to do it automatically by just clicking on a thing, clicking on a checkbox, and it would share it. I know you could still share it like a live stream and stuff like that, but it's not as easy as it was before. You used to be able to do your recorded videos on it too, but now there's a dialogue at the bottom somewhere off to the right where you could share it on your live thingy. What do they call it? Stream now page, but it makes it difficult for everything. This one I think is metal and has a small tab to attach a wire directly to the frog. Yeah, I think the ones that I had something on the bottom where you could solder something on there, but still it was really crappy. I've seen some of them because I think I have one that's like that, and that might be one of their electro frogs. I'm not sure, but the ones that I had, they were insulated and they weren't that good. But just check it out with the meter if you have a meter, or just run your train over it and see how it works when it goes over top of it. Okay. Just like live streaming, they make it harder to do. Yes, sir, I agree. All right, here we go. New Atlas turnouts have metal frogs, but they are insulated. Need electrical connection for the short wheelbase locos. There you go. All right, so that answers your question right there. Yeah, they got the metal frogs, but they are insulated. I think I talked about that before. They had the little let me show it on here. These ones have a gap right here, but I think on the Atlas ones they have plastic insulation like right here on each side and up here, I'm pretty sure. And then you have to route the power to it. So it's not all lost, but the ones I had were really crappy. Okay, Dave. Sorry, I had to go. Interesting as always. Thank you for sharing. Night all. See you later, Dave. Thank you for stopping in. And I told Debbie again that I'll try to keep this around an hour. And it's almost an hour right now. So let me get on with a few things that I wanted to talk about. What do we got up next? I got to go through all my stuff here. Through my notes. I did all of that, Okay. Now, what comes next? All right, train of thought where we could talk about anything that we want to. It doesn't necessarily have to be trains, but have I got something for you. Now, in Southwest Florida, there are no train tracks. I mean, the only tracks that are still available, I don't think they've been used because they just took the crossbucks off on the one intersection in Bonita Springs, which is about 4 miles north of here. But we were in Fort Myers a couple of weeks ago before we got sick. And it's not too often that we get the rail fan. Here he comes. Needless to say, there is a lot of propane companies in Fort Myers along the main drag there. That's all you see is those tank cars with propane. So that is the extent of the rail fanning in Fort Myers. I mean, there's just a couple of tracks there. Okay. Rick, the model open houses started Saturday. Okay, model open houses. All right. Where can I find a list or schedule? My question exactly. But anyway, what I also wanted to say was coming up in, I had to think what month this is, November 16th and 17th. Suncoast Center for Fine Scale Modeling is open 2 days in November 16th and 17th. They have normally only open on Saturday, but this month they're open on Saturday and Sunday. We plan on going if we don't have any tornadoes or bad weather. And we'll be up there, so it's a nice place to see if you're in western central Florida, anywhere near Tampa or even near Orlando. It's not that far of a drive. It's only about 20 to 30 minutes above Tampa, maybe a couple hours west of Orlando, and they have a lot of good stuff there. They got some new stuff there. Okay, Art says went to Palatka Rail Fest a couple of weeks ago. Good deal. Not too many open houses right now. In I think in December in Florida, there's going to be a lot of them. Let me see. The end of November, maybe beginning of December, and in January, I know there's going to be Jacksonville, there's going to be Tampa, there's going to be Suncoast Model Railroad. Who else? D-Land. And hopefully we'll hit the correct one in Atlanta this year. So hopefully we could hit that one, the better one that we went to. We went to the one at, what was that? Oh, it was some arena that they were working on, and it wasn't that good. But I was told that the one on the west side of Atlanta that happens in maybe February or March is a better one. So we plan on going to that one, hopefully next year in 2020. And don't forget Black Mountain Station. How you doing? Glad you can make it. Okay, Nate, be right back. Okay, there we go. And hurry back, Nate. Okay, but one other thing, don't forget in May is it 16th and 17th? I'm not quite sure. I don't have my phone here. But it's the Saturday and Sunday. Friday night, we're stopping at the Caboose Motel. I think there's a lot of people that are checking in. Oh, yeah, the Villages. I forgot about that. We plan on going to that one in December the 13th. That was supposed to be a good one. And, yeah, I hope to see you up there. From what I understand, that is a really good one, better than the one that they had that we went to a few months ago. Okay, up here, all the open houses are in November, only one date in December. There are mostly private layouts, not clubs. Oh, that's too bad. Okay, so I had one other thing that I wanted to talk about that I had mentioned some other time, and it's just a little short video. And it's about Debbie getting me to watch these people cleaning houses and stuff.
Now, you always thought that I was kidding when I told you that Debbie is forcing me to watch this stuff. And here we go. She says, "Oh, just watch it for. It's only 3 more minutes long."
Yeah, it is.
and some lady making some lame Christmas hat.
Help! Help! Help me, please. She tortures me with that stuff. Not really. I sit there voluntarily for a little while. But anyway, I told her that I was going to keep this short, about an hour. If anybody has any more questions, ask them now before we cut out of here. Let me see. I got one more thing. Next week is Labor Day, or not Labor Day, Veterans Day, November 11th. That's our next live show at 8 o'clock. And yeah. And so we'll be talking about Veterans Day, what it means, and maybe if you have any war stories, you could talk about them. I might talk about some war stories. If you have any relatives that were veterans, or any relatives or friends that didn't make it, pass it along so we could acknowledge their service to this country. She can watch. You should be up on the module. That's right. You do what you have to do. There you go. But anyway, Veterans Day is the next one. So the last thing that we're going to do here, if nobody has any more questions here. So I don't see any questions up here. Yeah, I forgot about the villages. We're gonna go to that one, and then right after that, I think the week after that, we're going up to Maryland, and I always miss the Timonium one. That was a couple of weeks ago, I guess. I'd like to go see that one, but I'm never up there at the right time. So. Let's wrap this thing up. It's time to go. So I want to thank everybody for stopping by. I really appreciate it. Don't forget to like, share this live stream, and you still have a chance to do the super chat, or you could do PayPal me to help out with this channel. And don't forget, the next one is Veterans Day, November 11th. And that's about it for tonight. So, until the next time, we'll see ya. Where is this thing at here? I lost it.